Hey, Candle Lady. Thank you for waiting on me. I appreciate that. Zoe. Zoe, you right, dog. You right, bro. Tanya is kind of fine. She is. She's tall too. Um, we were joking one time on social media, but we'll get into what all we're doing. But people who listen know what this is. But I think she put her stats up one time. People were just talking trash, and she put like I'm 5'11", 200 or something like that. And then all my friends was just like, "Well, strap that shit up, bitch. Let's go. Let's roll." like, like that ain't doing. Like, are you trying to turn us like this? Like, trying to turn us away, or you trying to entice us, man? I got a group. Yeah, don't threaten this one good. I got a group chat full of dudes who like Lizzo. So like, I mean, so and you ain't been like Lizzo. Oh, we got to talk about it, man. I love um hypocrisy. Oh yeah, she put 5'11", 225, man. She built like a Mike linebacker. That's all right. That's what we used to destroy them. Mm. You know what, Miles? I finished it. I did not send it. I'm about to send the email right now. But while I'm sending this email to Miles, this is Big Games BS brought to you by Dem Media Group, presented by Alpha Male Jacks. Alpha Male Jacks. If 5'11", 225 is too much woman for you, you need to go to Alpha Male Jacks. Alpha Male Jacks can help you get your levels right, get you stronger, get you feeling more energy, feeling like the best you. That's really what, like, coming into football season, man. It's a lot of exciting times, a lot of things that are coming on the docket right now. You need to make sure you're prepared to make sure you enjoy this to the best of your ability. You're gonna be drinking, you're gonna be eating. Make sure that your liver is right, your liver enzymes are right. Make sure your kidneys are functioning in the proper way. Make sure everything that you're trying to do is the best so that you can be here to see Florida State be great. I don't really care about the other schools as much, but like they might be great. If you go to the other schools too, we need your green caches, but we just need you to be good. It's also where alpha male is the male side of it. We do have a female side of it where you can get the same exact things. A lot of people, you're getting hormonal. It's the food. I think I don't know. It's food, stress levels, all kinds of other different things. But make sure you go to alphamalejax.com. And if you are lacking, this is not just ED. I want people to realize this. They have made this weird. Like, just you can be feeling lacking energy and your dick still work. But you need to go to Alpha Male Jets or check out the female equivalent of it, Executive Med Spa, but they're in the same building. And if you're a man and you're really just, you just want to compete a little bit more, there is some things that we offer that can help you gain um, gain the size, like just like Jimbo Fisher. When you can go find those inches that you might need to be able to feel that confidence that you need to go feel. So go check out our sponsors inside the world's greatest cigar lounge, Goodfellas Cigar Lounge. Actually, Miles, if you can go to my Twitter, I want to serenade everybody. Karaoke is our thing on Tuesday night. It also happens to be ladies' night. Go keep scrolling. Should be one of the first videos. But that's Stevie Wonder with cocaine. Like right here, you can just play that one. But right here, this is what we do. We get down, we have a good time. You can pick whatever song you want to pick, but this is the lounge. This is toward the end. I have to get my liquid courage in me before I can get up there. I have a hard time performing in front of large crowds now. So, but check this out. This is me. I'm singing. I think I sang "Song for You" by Donny Hathaway, but I think this is Bobby Valentino right here. No, this song for you.
I've been so many places in this life and time. I've sung a lot of songs. I've made some bad
rhymes. This song right here was a cold song. You ever heard a song that make you want to play the piano? Like this song, the piano was just so dope on that. But anyways, Tuesday nights, karaoke night. Come up here, karaoke night, ladies' nights, drink specials. Thursday nights we have a live band. Friday nights we have a live band. Saturday nights we have a live band. Football season is going to come here. This will be the official hosting place of FSU Black Alumni. No, you don't have to be Black or alumni to come here and watch the football games. It's just a conservative group of people want to target and come watch games. So we welcome them. Hell, we welcome white alumni, Asian alumni, anybody. The most important thing is that you have a plastic card that is active, or you have good green cash, not the other stuff. That's what we got going on with that. Oh yeah, the other housekeeping things. What does it say? Listen, man. Listen, the notes did something to you. Like, let's not lie. Like, it's like Keith Sweat couldn't sing, but Keith Sweat was like was an icon. Anyways, I'm so ready for this to be over. It's my fourth annual book bag drive here in Jacksonville, Florida. 3,600 bags was raised. Shout out to my brother Terrence Freeman for coming through at the end and hooking me up with clear book bags, because the middle school kids here are fucking insane. Like, they are wild. Like, everybody talks about the high school, it's the middle school kids that's out here causing all the trouble, but they need love too. So they have to go to school with clear book bags. They can't have a regular book bag. They need to see what's going on in these book bags. But so T hooked me up with those. We still got to stuff them. So like, we still raise a little bit of money for some school supplies. If you want to, the Cash App, MFTK, money sign MFTK36, Venmo, MFTK Foundation, PayPal, MFTK Foundation at gmail.com, or go to the website, jamescolemangivesback.com, and register. But I'm telling you, man, I am fatigued. I am so tired. I cannot wait for this and this camp to be over. Not because I'm mad, it's just tired. You can't grow weary in well doing. I don't care what the fuck they say. I'm ready to get back to the dough. But what makes the most sense, which is talking shit, tailgates, which is how this gets started. And we have a big tailgate coming on, which will be the next big push. Get to the tailgate. Yeah, we can show this right here. This is basically how close it is off the interstate. If you're watching this, if this is up, this was me driving off of the 408 to the tailgate. It's like less than 2 minutes with no traffic. We are literally on Church Street, Church and Norton, 1331 Church Street is the official address of it. We've got 4 lots that will be tailgating from, technically 5, but one is just strictly parking. But then that one is literally right across the street from the stadium. Like, you can literally spit and it will hit the sidewalk of the stadium. The tailgates are actually about a 5-minute walk. So all of it's going to be fun. People are asking questions like, what's the fucking menu? We will get the menu out. We will get somebody asks, is there a privacy thing? I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, if you got warrants, this probably isn't the tailgate for you. Like, actually probably is. It's probably people there with warrants, but like, I wouldn't try to go causing a ruckus. And then somebody asked, is it kid friendly? It is kid friendly. We will actually have a kid zone with video game trucks and stuff like that, and different games for the kids to be able to play. Just keep your kids away from. There's going to be, my man brings moonshine, and one of the biggest moonshine, with 2 of them. One's in a lemonade jug, and one's in a Tampico. Like, Tampico's that hood juice that probably has no flavor, like no nutritional value in it. But that's Dreamsicle moonshine. So if your kid gets to the Dreamsicle moonshine, hey, it's out of my hands, man. Like, that's you being a terrible parent. But kids, if you got kids, you kind of just inbox me. We work that out for you at the gate, or you can Cash App us. We're not gonna make you buy a $60 ticket. Now, I'm telling you, ticket prices are going up for the tailgate in 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks to get what you need to get. Then after that, you're gonna basically have another 2 weeks to get what you get. And after that, we are buying provisions based upon how many tickets are sold, and we will not stop selling tickets. So, like, that means there's incentive to get there early. That means there's incentive to buy early. And trust me, we will not run out of liquor. And we probably won't run out of food. We'll have a soul food, we'll have American barbecue food, we'll have seafood, and we'll have a Creole inspired spot. So Trying to get, once we get to 3,000 followers, if I get to 3,000 followers, we're giving away 2 tickets to the game. These tickets are going pretty high right now, so make sure you get that. Once we're trying to get 100 members. Memberships are from $3.99 all the way up to $99.99. If you're at that $99.99 level, you get free access to all the events. So the tailgate and parking, you won't have to worry about that as long as you're an active member of that. I got to make sure you got to at least have 2 months under your belt. So don't try to just sign up for $100. As you know what, I'll give you a tailgate ticket if you sign up. If you sign up in the month of September right before the game, it all pans out. So just make sure you do those things. If we get to 5,000 somehow, I will give away 4 total tickets, so 2 sets of tickets to the game. So go tell a friend to like it. Once we start getting to September, we'll give away. We'll do a live show breaking down the LSU FSU game, and that will be when we give away the tickets to that. So we got any? Because I haven't even looked at the comments on YouTube. So check those things out again. Tell a friend to tell a friend. As we grow the channel, more good stuff comes to you. So speaking of FSU, we had a good July. A lot of people are anticipating FSU not doing stuff. Everybody was crying and complaining. Hey, man, what's going on? FSU's not recruiting to the same level. In fact, people trolled. And this is a guy, Silk. He has a podcast, Big Roll Up. My boy CJ left. So I don't know who they're going to have for FSU to cover that stuff. But Silk, loves he sounds really, he is an intelligent guy, I believe. He's a good troll. But when you have takes like this, though, it's very difficult to take you seriously. But this is what Silk said about FSU going into the month of July. So actually might have been right before the 4th of July. So this is what my guy had to say about FSU.
But I think it's gonna be a letdown. The recruiting that's happening on the trail, y'all feel a little let down about the recruiting. That's gonna reflect itself on the field as well.
Run that back one more time because I want people to this is an intelligent black man. I want people to listen to black men. Listen to what this guy says.
But I think it's gonna be a letdown. The recruiting that's happening on the trail, y'all feel a little let down about the recruiting. That's gonna reflect itself on the field as well.
Okay. So this is what Silk was saying. And at the time, Florida State was about ranked 17th in the nation when it came to recruiting. Boy, have times changed. We're top 10. We're ranked 6. Florida's ranked 3. And we're still climbing, at the quote my guy Mike Norvell. But if you go click on the thing, because I want to give props to my boy Dibby Dukes. He's ever since he cut his hair and let his bald head flourish, life has been great for him. But not that. If you go back to the same where the video is, because Dibby and then push back, and we'll see what an unbiased source says. On 3, who nobody Florida State doesn't really like. Here are the July recruiting winners. They literally have bold in 3D. Florida State right up on that, right on top of that bitch, right behind with Georgia, who's a hot team tagging below. Auburn, who really should be number 1. Auburn's over here doing the Lord's work, flipping 5 stars from Alabama. Tennessee and Ohio State. What's up, Angelo? Are the guys who won recruiting. And if anybody doesn't believe Florida State, like right now, the hype, there's a lot of hype, and they earned it. Like you've got the Florida State is the only team in the nation with multiple players on the Maxwell watch list. Maxwell is the offensive player of the year. That's the thing. So you got Johnny Wilson. I believe Keon Coleman might be on there. Trey Benson and Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis is a favorite to win the Heisman. We've had multiple All-Americans. We've got an offensive lineman, and Jeremiah Byers. Shout out to Jeremiah, who came to the book bag drive, tossed some book bags at kids, who is on the Outland Trophy Award list, which is one of the best offensive linemen in the nation. Right now, things are trending up. And if they fuck around and do what I believe that they're going to do and beat LSU, it's going to get fucking spooky. It's going to get real, real spooky. And I like it. I hope it gets spookier. What up? But it's just, I don't understand. I understand trolling. this morning, I resisted the urge to troll Miami as I was listening to their spaces. If you don't know what spaces are, spaces is basically a podcast that people do for free on Twitter. And you can just click your Twitter. And sometimes if you're just out and about, it actually is if I could figure out how to do it all at once, we'd have to do some more research. But how to do my spaces, how to do this, I would probably do more of them. But it's just something about talking into my phone and then having people be able to just jump into it and like no real way to regulate the like. I think during the season I want to do phone calls for members, like or have a way that you guys can communicate. But it's a little terrifying. Some of your voices are weird. Some of you are just weird. So I had to tell somebody the other day. They were like, "People are smart." And I'm like, "No, I interact with a lot of people on a day-to-day basis. I beg to differ." But it doesn't mean you're bad. It just means we're not all smart. And we all do stupid stuff. Me too. But like the Miami spaces, oh man, I didn't put this on there. Somebody tweeted. It was such a great tweet. I gotta start giving people their props when they tweet out good shit. White dude, Mark Ennis at MarkEnnis. I wish anyone believed in me as much as ACC media believes in Miami in July. I'm going to just compound it. I wish anybody believed in me as much as Miami. If the 30 people who are viewing this right now believed in me as much as Miami fans and spaces believe in Miami every year, I would be a multi-billionaire. Not millionaire. I would skip all of that. I would be a billionaire. Like they are just like, I'm listening to these guys. They don't even understand football. So football, there's multiple different types of offenses, but like if you run the wing tee, right? The wing tee is a running based offense. Like it is literally run first. You are probably here 70-30. You throw when there's absolutely no other reason to run. And there's a bunch of different things that are in between all of that. The actual what was it? The antonym of the wing tee would be the air raid. That means you are throwing the ball and you only run the ball when you absolutely have to, when it's absolutely necessary. So they brought in an air raid offensive coordinator. And this is when I started learning that Miami fans don't understand offenses, don't understand schemes, and a lot of other different things. Last year, they thought that they were going to run a spread offense. With an offensive coordinator who's done nothing but run pro-style offense, that means you're about 60-40, really about 55-45 pass the run. Like, they were like, oh, he's going to spread the offense. He's never done that before. With a head coach who's never done that before. With an offensive line coach who's never trained offensive linemen to run a spread offense before. So they got rid of him, and they bring in a guy with the air raid. And I literally heard the words. So if you don't know what the air raid means, because I know a lot of these other people talk very, very high football principles to you and don't explain it. And I'm of the ilk. If I can't explain it to a fourth grader, then I don't really know it. There are times when you can't help, but like again, Neil deGrasse Tyson has shown me that if you could be extremely intelligent and explain really, really complicated things on a very simplistic basis, if you want to, unless you just want to be a pretentious dick, which is a lot of people are just pretentious dicks, and that's who you support. But whatever. Air raid, throw the ball a lot. 70-30, 80-20 sometimes. Go back and look at what was the Pirates? They called him the Pirate. That just passed. Mike Leach. Go look at Mike Leach's offenses and look at how many running backs he actually produced. He threw the ball. There were times when he threw the ball 60 to 70 times a game. A good offense gets 85 attempts. So the guy who's their offensive coordinator now in Miami is an air raid guy. And they're over there talking about we're going to run the ball. We're going to have a 60-40 split, probably a 50-50 split. We're going to be balanced. Balanced and air raid don't fucking make sense. So anyways, so getting off of that, we had a bunch of people talk shit. And what I'm I'm really liking this aspect of Coach Norvell. Which I don't know is Coach Norvell, he follows social media. I don't know how much he follows rivals, but I do know he follows former players and a lot of the people who actually listen. Shout out to my guy Sam, who's probably the only person who I cannot get into the FSU football offices after he did a Fire Mike Norvell spaces. 2 years ago. It was crazy. It was like one of the largest spaces on Twitter at that time. Like people were irate because Mike lost. We lost a commit to Dion in Colorado, Travis Hunter. But yeah, it was crazy. But so I know they watched it because Mike Norvell was in he was in the Fire and Mike Norvell spaces for a second. But he watches it. He tells me, I remember my teammate Antonio Cromartie, made a statement when he went up there. He's like, I hear the critiques, man. I see it. I know what you say. I know what you say. I still like you, though. He's been in the locker room, so he's got thick skin. But I like this popping off shit that he's doing. It might just, people say, oh, July, because July 1st didn't start off with fireworks, we saved it for July 4th weekend. And hopefully this weekend coming up, we'll get some more big-time commitment news. But Mike went out there and said, July was full of fireworks. Tribe 24, just wonder what August might have to bring. And just like all of these different things, put the fireworks up there. It starts this week. Part of it is they got camp. They do. I think today was their meeting. Everybody goes to the meeting. Tomorrow's the first day of practice. They'll be at Jacksonville next week, so I'll be there. I asked Trey if he wanted to go, and he did not hesitate and said, hell yeah, I want to go. But the other thing that happened yesterday, that if you've been listening to me for some time, I've talked about Florida State potentially. Oh, my bad. Before we get into that and get into that, click on the YouTube video. I saw a YouTube short. If you're not viewing YouTube shorts and Instagram reels,
take a look at this. Florida State believes they're building the best
you're
football
missing out on life. One, Miles does a great job of breaking down very intricate topics that we talk on this. It makes me sound like an asshole in the 1-minute clips, but they're intriguing. They actually make you the ones I watch make me want to learn more about a subject. I thought I knew a lot about the indoor practice facility, the football only facility. But some guy did a short, and this is what he had to say about the the football only facility. It makes me excited.
Take a look at this. Florida State believes they're building the best football facilities in the country. Their most recent project, the Dunlap Football Center, will be a 150,000 square foot facility and has an estimated cost of $100 million. And they're calling this facility NFL caliber after flying out to the Dallas Cowboys facility to see what kind of concepts they wanted to incorporate. And it's going to have all the bells and whistles: a brand new locker room, weight room, hydrotherapy room, and a walkthrough room to be utilized for game prep. This seems to be a cool new trend that more and more programs are implementing around the country. Earlier this year, Florida State also announced their plans to move forward with the Doak Campbell Stadium renovation project. The goal of this project is to update the historic stadium with modern seating experiences. A variety of new premium seating options will be available for the 2025 season, including climate-controlled clubs, more chairback seating, and expanded premium food and beverage offerings.
Now, what's dope about that, the Doak Campbell one, is we're basically fucking the city of Tallahassee in order to get like Doak Campbell Stadium renovated. So people got mad at me because I broke down the deal. I was like, it's a shitty deal for the city of Tallahassee, but it's a phenomenal deal for Florida State. They're taking tax dollars that are allocated for bringing business into the city that brings long-term jobs so that they can tax those jobs to replenish the money that goes into the city. So for perspective, there are some projects so Florida State's getting $20 million, right, for this project. There are projects that got $2 to $5 million that are bringing in double the amount of jobs that Florida State's bringing in for this project. Most of this money is going to the supplies and everything else, and not to the people working. So, kudos to the people who are getting paid to make sure that went through. But just knowing politics, I'm not here to tell you the right, the wrong, and different. It's a shitty deal for the city, though. I can promise you that. But the city may progress because they're doing these things because Florida State is now making money moves as a university. We have been talking about for over a year, maybe a little bit longer, about Florida State's need to leave the ACC. The TV, and a lot of us have focused on just the television contracts, and that was just me. But I'm one of those guys, as I get educated, I like to educate the masses and talk to people about what I have just learned. And that entails talking to people who are just much smarter than you. And I've had numerous shows. You can go back and watch them. I've done it with Chris, with Sporadics. We've done other kinds of things that talked about why leaving the ACC is a big deal. Now, a year ago, all the smarter, pretentious guys started throwing off these fancy court terms, things like GOR, things like you can't leave. There's an exit fee. And what it made me realize is that a lot of reporters have never done business before in their life. All you've done is report, which is fine. Contracts are made to be broken. Look at America. Divorce rate is over 50%. Now it's about to go down a little bit because people need to the rent is too goddamn high. But you've got contracts that are supposed to be ironclad that get broken every fucking day. So really, and then all this. So Tuesday, a conversation happened between ESPN and Florida State, which a lot of people, like my guy Chris and some other people, predicted, which goes to us having our Board of Regents discussion, which moves forward to us doing some other things. Last week, they made an announcement that Florida State can officially go and get sell bonds and issue bonds and different things, raise money in a creative way to be able for future purchases and shit like that. So this could all lead up to potentially paying $300 million for the buyout from the ACC. 10 years, $30 million a year. Now, that's a lot of bread. But let's think about the bread that Florida State would get if they just went to one conference in particular, which I'm going to focus on, and that's the Big Ten. If they go to the Big Ten, you're talking about $96 million a year. I would gladly pay $30 million a year to make $66 million. I don't know about you, but I'm willing to make that trade. But forget all of that. I made a tweet yesterday because I just sat back and I thought about the years that I've been involved with Florida State and what I've seen. So in my lifetime as a player and as a pundit, I was a part of the first true the beginning of what we could consider the expansion era, because it's really been under the last 20 years, which isn't that long. Miami, Virginia Tech came over to the ACC. During that time, after that, Maryland left the ACC to go to the Big Ten. Florida State brought Pitt and Syracuse into the ACC along with Louisville. And I'm trying to think of who else they brought. But that was what the ACC went from being the aggressor, destroying other conferences, to now potentially being the conference that's being destroyed. But before those things happened, I remember in 2003, we got President TK Weatherall. TK Weatherall, who's passed now, he owned the record. He tied the record for most kickoff returns in a career. Really good football player. Also, motherfucking crazy and about that life. In 2003 is what now I guess the word would be considered woke culture. Woke culture hit us. And they started saying, hey, these names are a little racist. And to their defense, I didn't know. I can see why red skin could be racist to an Indian, because their skin is red. And that was a derogatory term back in the day. White people say cracker is racist, but you want to know what Florida State's nickname almost was? The Florida State Crackers. On God, fucking look it up. I promise you, it finished number 2, I believe, in the votes that they put when we fielded the football team. Seminoles just seems to have been a name that can pass the test of time. It's not a derogatory. It's not slang. It's the actual name of a tribe of Indians that were native to Florida, that were unconquered. And that's what the fuck we standing on. They went and tried to find the Oklahoma Seminoles, but we said, nah, them the motherfuckers that surrendered. We ain't repping them. They not gang. They not real. They not like us. Now, one of the things I wish they would do is, the Seminoles are black. I don't know if people realize this. That's where a lot of the Florida ones, that's where a lot of us, when we is black, can I give y'all a little history? I know before DeSantis destroys it. This is why I always tell people I don't really give a fuck what DeSantis said about history. History is not taught properly in general. Everybody talks about the Underground Railroad, and everybody assumes that the Underground Railroad, you will go north, right? if you fucking lived in Georgia, just think about how hard, Savannah, Georgia to be exact. Do you know how fucking hard that is to go north? You got to go through like 3 fucking slave states. And really, even when you get to the free states, you're not free. You got to get to Canada. That's where everybody talked about the Underground Railroad will take you to Canada. And that's not saying that didn't happen. But why would you go from Savannah, Georgia, there, when you can go to Florida, when Florida was the Spanish didn't practice slavery? Florida's right there. So what would happen was a lot of black slaves would leave and they would flee and they would get with the Indian tribe, and the Indian tribe that they got with were the Seminoles. So that's why their skin was darker. It was a lot of interbreeding, a lot of those different things. So that's just a little education about the Seminoles. So sometimes when we do these marches and when y'all see some of these guys like that, y'all like, that's not the spirit of the Seminoles. It's a little bit. And you can go back all that up. Promise you, not lying to you. Claude Anderson used to be the secretary for education for Florida. He has some great books about things like that if you guys want to go learn a little bit more about it. But I'm saying all that to say is we ain't no bitches down here. And TK and NCAA was trying to go through and force teams and schools to change their mascots or fear sanctions. And this is when the NCAA really had some cojones, like some balls, some pull. What happened with the camera? Never mind, it's up now. But they had a little bit of stuff with them, right? So what TK Weatherall comes out and says, if y'all even think about trying to make us change our name from the Seminoles, we'll leave this motherfucker. Not the ACC. We will leave the NCAA. The NCAA sat back and thought about it. Damn, these motherfuckers crazy right here. But what if he does? And at the time, this was when, again, back in 2003, when they first started reintroducing the idea of paying college football players. So what would happen, what they thought about was, and they started writing articles about what happened if the top 50 programs left the NCAA, created their own NCAA, which is really where we're generally going. So for people who don't understand, none of this shit is new. Y'all just didn't read it, and the internet wasn't as prevalent as it is now. All of these things basically were predicted 20 years ago. ESPN did an article called College Football Pangea. For those who don't know what Pangea is, that is the idea of what all the continents used to look like during the dinosaur ages before. But just, bro, you'd be surprised what people do and don't know. Like, but they're saying, in the idea is that, you know, not tomorrow, but eventually the continents, as they grow apart, will become closer together, and we will have Pangea again. So that's basically what's happening with college football. It's they're growing apart, but getting closer together, where we will have, but their prediction was we were going to have 4 major conferences. The prediction now is probably we will have 2 major conferences, and we would go from there. So, but regardless, the point in this is that TK Weatherall said, bitch, try me if you want to, and watch me not leave this shit. And he flexed his nuts, and the NCAA backed up. And that's why you see a lot of teams' names change, but Florida State doesn't. And anytime somebody comes up and tries to talk that shit, and they say that that's just a racist term or whatever, Florida State says, man, fuck you, suck my dicks and eat ass. And life's better that way.
Have they ever spoken to any members of that tribe?
Of the Oklahoma one or the so Florida State actually has a partnership with the Seminole Tribe of Florida. So our uniforms have to go through something. They get a piece of bread. Any Seminole that I guess they have to make the grades. So like this is what's funny when when affirmative action is cool. Is any Seminole Indian that wants to go to Florida State can go to Florida State.
That is so dope.
So which is cool. I ain't got no problem with that. Like again, affirmative action happens in so many different ways. People just get mad when it happens with the colors. But I think there was a walk-on Indian, and the group that I used to be with. I haven't talked about it before. I don't really fuck with me. It's not that I don't fuck with Micanopy. I don't fuck with the person who runs Micanopy. It still could be a really, really good thing. He's just a dick. but they have an Indian fund or something. Not Indian fund. That's wrong to say it that way. No, it's a fund that it's 1851. They'll give a scholarship for $1,851 to a Seminole Indian that wants to go to Florida State. So it's a cool little thing. That was actually a kind of dope idea. But I say all that to say is, if we told the NCAA, fuck you, we ain't changing our name, what makes you think we afraid of a fucking GOR? What makes you think we're afraid of some pussy ass contract? Get that shit. Like my man said, get you 12 white folks to take that shit to trial, bitch. And that's basically what Florida State said. That's a rap song before any of you guys get on me. It's really, really funny. It's like if you are white, I would suggest you listen to this in the morning. It will motivate you for work. Mr. Big made this song. But what else? Where are we going with that? Oh, so we left. We're going to the Big. My shout out to my homegirl Nina. She made this great edit that I like of me. And this is where I want us to go. I want us to go to the Big Ten. I believe we're going to the Big Ten. For a myriad of reasons. Damn. Actually, go to the quote tweet. Scroll down. Oh, damn, it was 14 quotes. I quote tweeted it myself. So, yeah, that one. There we go. So this is my beliefs of where we're going. I like it. One, I can use this. The SEC one doesn't really work the same. So, like, I don't really know how to work that, but I like this right here. So people have inboxed me, and I'm going to read this. And me and this, I'll have a good conversation with you. And while I haven't been to all 50 states, I've been to a lot of them. I've been to a lot of the free states. I don't go to the slave states that much. There's 2 states that I will never catch me dead in. And that doesn't mean good people. My boy Lawrence Steed is a phenomenal person. He's from the great state of Mississippi. I'll just never go to see my boy Lawrence in Mississippi. I've never gone to one of his family reunions, even though his people can cook. They've come to my tailgate and thrown down. Never been to the state of Alabama. I heard nothing but great things about the state of Alabama from the people who are there. I've also read a lot of bad things about them. I was a history major, and shit's terrifying. They have a movie and a book called Mississippi Burning, and it ain't about trees burning. It's about bad stuff happening. And that bad stuff happened while my mama been alive. So, yeah. But my guy, Chad Wyatt, and this what happens to me. I'm very friendly when it comes to like the inbox. If you approach in peace, I approach you back in peace. Chad respectfully hit me with this. You probably don't remember me, but I've grown up at FSU season tickets, and I'm proud alumni from 2004. My wife and I grew up in Jacksonville. So my wife grew up in Tally. We lived in Jackson since 2004. Are we really considering the Big Ten? I understand wanting to leave ACC, but I'm not driving to Michigan for a road game. I'd go to Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, the SEC geography. Why don't you want to join the SEC? Joining the Big Ten sounds like a beer campaign, not knowing their audience, i.e. the trannies in Bud Light. People still upset about that, apparently. I sent you a direct message because I'm not wanting a huge debate with 10,000 people. I just wanted to ask you directly, besides money, USC and UCLA joining is like the Lakers joining the Eastern Conference. It doesn't make sense. For football, I don't want to play in the snow. Is this really happening? All right. And that was a great respectful. I love conversations like this. There's a lot. And I'm going to tell you what I told him. And this is how the conversation ended. I appreciate the discussion, and go knows I'll hit you up closer to Clemson. But where was it? It was something else. Oh, I appreciate your comments. I personally rather be in the SEC, but I understand better because of your points. Now, here are the points. 1, it snows in Alabama, it snows in Mississippi, it snows in Tennessee, it snows in upper parts of South Carolina, it snows in North Carolina, it snows in fucking Atlanta, it snows, it definitely snows in Missouri, it snows in Texas in December. You know when it snows in Ohio, Michigan, and all these other places? maybe around Thanksgiving time, but typically it's December. So people get this idea that it's just the Miles, did it snow every day in fucking Boston?
No.
Boston is further north than these places. We play in fucking Boston.
Yeah, that is true.
Like I want to like, have y'all ever, not this guy, but just in general, when people keep bringing this up, I say, have you looked at a map of the fucking ACC? We play Syracuse, Pitt, and Boston. We play in Boston and Pittsburgh this year alone. We also play Notre Dame. Chicago, I will say, is the fucking coldest place I've ever been in my life. I fucking hate it. When I went to Chicago, when I was outside of playing Notre Dame, we went to Chicago in the middle of October. This is when I was still trying to figure out if I wanted to play football or not. The AFL was paying real good money back then. That's the Arena Football League. They had a team, the Chicago Rush. I had a tryout with the Chicago Rush. I got off the plane, and when I tell you the wind, it's called the Windy City for a reason. That wind hit me in my nose and went through my eyes, and I felt like somebody punched me in my face. My eyes immediately started tearing up. But it was cold for a Florida boy, but for them, there were people walking around in shorts. But what I mean by that is it's like on the football field, it's already warm. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'd rather play in snow, not a blizzard, but like if it snowed already, I'm good. Than playing cold, rain, windy, and all that other shit. Coldest game I've ever played in was Virginia. I played in Boston College. I've been to last time we played in Boston, 2 times ago, right after Tag got fired. We played up there and it snowed. And we won. And we were okay. Especially if you play in the middle of the fucking day, guys. It's like go look at one. Let me just to let you guys know. In order for it to snow, it's got to really be between, I want to say like 15 and 35 degrees. Because if it's too cold, you're not going to get snow. You're going to get ice. Like it won't come down. You know, it gets 35 degrees in Tallahassee, right? We get those high. It gets fucking cold in Tallahassee, man. And everybody from up north who's been in Tallahassee will tell you this. It's the worst type of cold. It's a wet cold. It's the cold of you just came out of the swimming pool and went into an air-conditioned home that's all the way down. And they don't like it either. Now, so this is just me talking with logic before I even get into the facts. We play 5 away games a year. We do not play. You will never play all 5 away games in the month of November. There's something that happens November, the last week in November every year, and it's state law. So you already know that you won't be in any northern place on probably the coldest weekend. Thanksgiving, we have to play the University of Florida. No matter what conference we go into, we will never not play the University of Florida on that. That is state law. Don't believe me? Look the shit up. If Clemson comes to the conference with us, we will probably more than likely always play Clemson in November because that's typically when it happens around Halloween or the first weekend, either Halloween weekend or the first weekend after that. So that leaves us 2 weekends maybe. And we're not going to go that long. Typically, we have senior night. So that will be typically that's your last game. So if we don't play Florida, that will be the 3rd game in the month of November. So I've just given you 1 week in the coldest month of us playing football up north. Now, you know what it is up north in September and October? You know what it is? A lot cooler than fucking Florida. So I have no problem going and playing in Columbus, Ohio. I have no problem playing in Happy Valley, which is kind of dope. Now, that's one of the few places that would be tough to get to. The other side of it is, have you looked at the hotels? I went and looked at September 23rd, Alabama versus Ole Miss. I looked up a hotel in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. $972 for a Red Roof Inn. A Red fucking Roof Inn. Per night, 2-night minimum, $1,800. Yes, you can drive to Alabama, but do you have $2,000 to spend on a hotel? Plus food, For that same luxury, buddy, what can you get in Chicago? You can get 2 round-trip tickets. You can actually stay in the W for $250 on the exact same weekend because Chicago has a bunch of fucking hotels. And you know what Chicago has? One of the that's very close proximity to a couple schools that you would have to play if you're in the Big Ten. Columbus, Ohio has a big airport. Damn near every school in the Big Ten except for Penn State, but that's not, how far is that from Pittsburgh? Or is it Philly that Penn State's not far from? Okay. But like Happy Valley, you fly into, that might be one of the smaller ones. But I'm sure you can find a place to stay. Tuscaloosa is the same problem. The SEC, most of those schools with a lot of pageantry, have the same issues that a lot of y'all have in Tallahassee. Because you know what a hotel night is going for in Tallahassee right now at the place that I stay, unless you're a Den Media Group member? The 4 Point Sheraton is selling rooms for $800 a night. That's not the room that I get. I get the presidential suite. That's for a 2-queen regular ass room. Yeah, there is small cities don't have a lot of hotels, and they also know they can price gouge because one, the opposing team is coming in and probably buying 200 rooms. So you already have rooms out of the market before anybody else goes there. Now you add to it, you want to go, you want to travel. Cities double in size when these places come. So that's just that. Now, that doesn't change anything for Tallahassee. We will still have that, probably bring more industry. Now, from a city economic impact, because I just talked about how Doak Campbell's fucking the city is a shitty deal. But if we go to the Big Ten, do you know what Big Ten people do? They don't travel for 1 week. I mean, for 1 day of game. They travel 4 to 5 days for the game. We played Penn State in the bowl game. The motherfuckers was there for 2 weeks. Penn State took over the city of Miami. It was more Nittany Lions there at that game than Florida State fucking Seminoles. Florida is in our name. It's because they don't get the opportunity. What they see is Tallahassee, Florida being 2 hours from a beach. That's close. And it doesn't just affect Tallahassee. They will buy hotels in Jacksonville, Pensacola, Valdosta, Thomasville. They'll go in a 2-hour radius because everywhere they go, they got to drive. It's different up there. Like my cousin came to Orlando and said, hey, he came from a family vacation from New Jersey and said, hey, man, I'm going to come see you in Tallahassee. Like, bitch, that ain't close. And he drove his ass up and then saw me for like 30, 40 minutes. And you know what he did after that? Drove his ass on back because that's what they do. But you know what else they don't do? They don't practice in 120-degree heat indexes. So while you're bitching and crying about the snow that we'll never see, they should be bitching and crying about the heat that is going to be real. It's just a lot of things that I don't think people put into context. Again, you're talking about 5 games, maybe 1 max, 2 of which will be played in November, which is the coldest month. Because when December hits, you're either going to a bowl game or you're playing in the Big Ten championship, which is in a dome. So you ain't got nothing to worry. You don't even have to worry about the elements then. I believe it's in Indianapolis, which is phenomenal. I want to go. I would much rather. I love Charlotte. Charlotte's cool, but if you told me I could go to Indy or Charlotte, I'm going to Indy all day. That's not including the academic monies. That's not including the other things, the Big Ten alumni networks. That's not including a bunch of other shit that just really don't. I mean, and I'm not going to fucking play. And then people's like, I don't want to see Florida State play Illinois. I don't want to see Florida State play Vanderbilt. I don't want to see Florida State play. Like it's really the same 5 or 6 schools in the Big Ten that I would really like to see. There's maybe 5 to 6 teams in the SEC that I would really like to see. And from a TV perspective, the contract is just going to blow up even more because now you have you can literally run games from noon to midnight because you have the West Coast slate with USC and UCLA. But we've got a contingent of fans who are ready to go to Dublin, Ireland. You don't think we'll have a contingent of fans ready to go to LA to see See us play USC or UCLA? We already fly. You fly into Chicago for the most part if you're going to Notre Dame. Hell, if you can't get into Columbus isn't that far from Chicago either. Like, it's just, I really don't think people have fully thought out. I think we know the SEC. We feel like that. And that's what people are bragging about. And that's really what's gotten us to this point. Had the SEC not been thrown and crammed down our throats so much, the ACC probably would have got a better contract because they would have cherished FSU a little bit more. And now FSU is just in that situation where we know we the baddest bitch in the prom. And we just saying, fuck you. We're going to go do our own thing. Damn, that went way longer than what I wanted to go through because of the history lesson. But another thing, too, is when we talk about, before we get conference realignment talk, but before I get into that, I want you to this is what's happening in Georgia right now. Georgia is expanding their stadium much like this. And this is what happens a lot in the SEC world. Coming to a game at Sanford Stadium this year, please note the changes that have been made during its Phase 2 $68.5 million improvement. Gates 1 and 9 have new locations, and portions of the Gillis Bridge will now be inside the stadium and ticketed area on game day. Apparently, you used to just be able to get to that bridge and just be able to watch the game from the bridge. There are opportunities to be able to watch the game cheap, and their fans are not happy. Not a fan of this. If there are 2 gates on each end of the bridge, how do fans parked in the south deck get to their seats on the north side? Blah, blah, blah. No more free amenities, the cost of doing business. This is not a good plan. Many fans use the bridge to get access to the campus, to get to the bookstore, the student center as well. Watching the dog walk from the bridge is as much a tradition as any other. They're not happy about this. The fan base, and a lot of people can say this is capitalism. But here's what Lee Ring says. Georgia football tickets are too expensive for the average family. Now the bridge is closed off to non-ticket holders on game day. Georgia don't price out the average fans from experiencing our beloved dogs. So not only will you probably have to spend almost $2,000 on a hotel, I got news for you. You're not buying a ticket to an SEC football game. You can't afford it. I'm sorry to be the one to have to tell you that, but it just means more. Isn't that I think that's what they say, but whatever. But with all this conference realignment talk, it's not just Florida State talking about going back to the Big Ten. They're talking about bringing Clemson, Oregon, Stanford, with the potential to bring Cal. And if they bring Cal, we'll bring in Miami. But before we get into that, Colorado has already declared their intentions to leave the Pac-12 to go to the Big 12. Dan Lanning, who is the coach of the Oregon Ducks, basically had some very tough words to say. And I believe that Deion Sanders is going to have a hell of a year and might lose more than his foot. Lose some sleep, lose stress lose the manufactured hairline that he just paid for. That's ass hair for people who don't know. That they take hair from your ass and they put it on your forehead so that you can have your hairline. That's how bad Deion, because Deion's been bald most of his life. And that Jerry curl juice fucked his head up. But anyways, go ahead and play what Dan Lanning had to say, because I like this talk. I hope they all beat the living fuck out of Colorado this year, just because I don't like Deion.
Not a big reaction. I mean, I'm trying to remember what they won to affect this conference. I don't remember. You remember them winning anything? I don't remember them winning anything.
Colorado has not been good since 1990. Since Eric Bieniemy was the running back competing for a Heisman Trophy. If you don't know who Eric Bieniemy is, he is now the offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders and used to be the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's been a lot of things since Colorado was good. Like Colorado is I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like when people keep, oh, you're just jealous of Colorado and you're jealous of Deion. What the fuck has Deion lost? Deion has lost the Soul Bowl 2 years in a row, and that's what I'm gonna call it. Can I be real? Like, sorry, but listen, this is me pandering to my right and not pandering to my left. Okay. the Chitlins Louisiana Hot Sauce Bowl, aka the Celebration Bowl for the black colleges, Deion Sanders has a fucking loaded team. A team that people joked about, could he compete with other with this lower level FBS teams? To go and lose to coaches with the name Bigfoot, was it Aloysius Bigfoot Johnson? My boy Big No always comes over and say, why do all HBCU coaches have a nickname? Like James Tiny Coleman, the heralded head coach of the North Carolina Central University Bobcats, or whatever the fuck they are. Bottom line is Deion ain't won shit. Colorado ain't won shit. And people think I'm supposed to be afraid of them. I'm a fucking buffalo. Fuck out of here. Go do your history. Indians hunted buffaloes. Fuck out of here. So much stuff I want to talk about, but I guess I can leave this for Friday because who knows what's going to happen. But I guess I gotta end with this because we've been talking a lot about Seminoles, right? So I guess I gotta keep the Seminole talk up. If I remember correctly, make sure everything is right before I talk about this guy. I'm pretty sure he's a Seminole. Yep, he's a Seminole. Jonathan Isaacs, young man, 25 years old. Played at Florida State. First round pick, 6th overall pick. He's a power forward for the Orlando Magic. Man, he is doing what I joke about doing. And I still might. I'm not sure yet. I know if I ever get really down on my luck, because it wouldn't be like we see Jason Fatlock doing it right now. Candace Owens does it too. You get down on your luck, you're like, I already know that I can go pander this way. I can go say, try that in a small town, right? Yeah. I can go do because hey man, the conservative bread is there. They're gonna pay, bro. But you gotta know the right playbook. You gotta know who, so when Miles does, you ain't sent me the pics in a minute, Miles. When Miles does my show, and if you look at my page, I'm always wearing, now I'm wearing Crocs, but not today, but I'm saying I'm either always wearing Crocs because they're comfortable and I don't care what anybody says, or I'm wearing some high-end sneakers. The high-end sneaker market is brown or colored people, because not just brown, Asians, Hispanics, Latinos, Black people, and really the kids of the conservative group. You may be and I'm not, again, I don't care who you vote for. I'm just using this as a descriptor. Like, you may vote for Ron DeSantis and love Donald Trump, and your kid may de facto tell you that, but your kid wants to wear the clothes and apparel or root for the guys who don't. Listen, this is me telling you the truth. You don't have to like the truth. But so when you're going for that route, when you're going for the gear route, that's probably not the best crowd to go for. Write a book, have a podcast, and he's using all the good words that normally make a song. This is what Jonathan Isaac, think about this. Go make you a rap song. And I'm telling you, the conservative crowd will get you. See, Jason Aldean just did a little bit of right there. Knew the left was going to get mad, create some arguments of friction. Hate listens count. And then people who want to support it, listen to it too. It's awesome. But I wouldn't do it with tennis shoes. I don't know if you've really looked at the crowd, the people who say anti-woke, the people who say liberal agenda, the people who say a lot of these things. You got the thing, Miles, the ones who didn't like kneeling, they typically don't really rock sneakers like this, like that look like fake Jordans or fake LeBrons. Like, it's just so, I mean, it's actually a kind of snazzy sneaker. Does that say Judas? Oh, Judah. It says Judah on it. Okay. They got the little Christian theme on it. when it never mind. I don't think people. This is why I don't practice it like that anymore. I love the principles. If you've read the book, this is so anti-Jesus. Capitalism isn't his thing. I'm not telling you don't be that, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, he wouldn't be doing this. I'm gonna sell some Air Judas. But that's not. But again, I'm for you because I'm a capitalist. But that's not the shoe. Can you go look up get some New Balances or the Air Monarch? Because this is the shoe. And when I post this up there, everybody, even if you are pro Jonathan Isaac, you're gonna love. I don't have it there. I'm just saying, look up Air Monarch. The Air Monarchs are the shoes of choice for the people who typically talk about anti-woke. They're not rocking snazzy shoes. They're not buying 20. They're buying, like, now, John, if you wanted to come out with a designer revolver, the white one, the all white pair. Yeah, right there. Yeah, that's the shoe. That's the shoe of the president of the HOA. This is the shoe of the mow my lawns. This is the shoe of you kids get off my lawn. Which is nothing wrong with that shoe. That's a good quality shoe. When you put it on, it's sturdy, it's durable, it's going to last. You ain't got to worry about, like, when you buy Pawpaw a pair of Air Monarchs, that's going to be a good gift for 3-4 years. He's going to get the work out of that. The only shoe that I think, now, and I think if he goes this route, he type in like the Steph Curry lows, like white, I think, because I'm trying to remember what those look like. Steph Curry had a shoe that came out that definitely looked like definitely looked like they were ready to snitch. Steph Curry low white. Is that the yeah, the white one. I think that's all white right there in the middle. And that's that's too much flavor in there. Too much color in these, man. Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one right there. Yeah. Like, this is Jonathan Isaac. This is what you went with the wrong company, dude. You went with the wrong layout, because this is how I know it's not really in Jonathan Isaac. That's the shoe you got to go with, John. If you would do this, they will buy your shoe, and you put that price point at right about $59.99. Sell out. But them Air Judas got too much drip on them, dog. That ain't in you, bro. That's not like that screams woke. So, I mean, I'm with it. I want people to be who they are. Believe what you want to believe. Defend it. I'll defend your right to believe whatever you want to believe. But I just think I think we've taken this woke thing too far. It doesn't even mean what it used to mean. Like, it's not even the same. Like, right now, if you played the song Redbone by Childish Gambino, like, it would have a whole different demeanor. Like, you wouldn't even, it doesn't have the same quality. So, like, people just sprinkle woke on everything that they don't agree with. It's like, if I can't, just think about it like this. If I came out and said, I hate the University of Miami and their woke agenda. They're out here trying to play out here. The University of Florida and those fat ass liberal D tackles that they have. They're liberal eating. Hey, I posted a pic. They really are fat mouths.
No, I've seen that.
We talked about the one guy. So check this right here. He's on a weight loss plan, and he gained 21 pounds. I said we call this group No Snack Left Behind. It ain't about that. You still have to move. Like, they can't move. Like, all you got to do is the first. I'm playing them first 2 drives, doing nothing but tosses and stretches. Make them fat asses run side to side. I'm gonna start really doing that. I'm gonna start saying silly shit that people say. I've been doing it with injuries. So, like, I did it on Twitter. You know, every time something happens, like right now, I'm gonna tell you guys, if I have a heart attack anytime soon, it's not because of the jab. I drink an excessive amount of coffee. That's the reason why I'm telling you, don't you put that bullshit out there. that it was the damn COVID vaccine. But every time somebody dies, it's COVID. Pee Wee Herman, 70 years old. Oh man, you think it was that jab? Bitch, he's 70. Yeah, he just died. So I'm saying, you know what? Cool. Since we want to put anybody who dies gotta be COVID, right? This is what I'm gonna start doing. Jalen Ramsey goes down for a meniscus tear. You think it was the jab? Anytime somebody goes down, it's like it must be. He was good until he got that jab. The jab? Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm saying I don't care if you get it or not. I want you, Mr. You. That's what I'm saying. This is why I'm mad at FAMU. All FAMU had to do was just go to YouTube and take the goddamn video down with Boston Richie, and they wouldn't have been in it. You can't talk about whatever. My point is that I'm going to start saying the teams I don't like have woke ideologies and liberal practices. Because we're already using it out of context, so why not just roll it on over to the next thing? Anyways, I guess on Friday we'll talk about fat people calling fat people fat, and after making fat empowerment songs, I have no good. Lizzo, you all right with me, but I think we have to. Actually, you know what? No, I want to go there. I want this lady dropped the realest tweet right here. Women, y'all are confusing as fuck. When the girl told us this blatant lie that we all knew didn't make no sense, talking about a toddler walked 600 yards in the dark and nobody else called it. Y'all said that's the problem. We don't believe black women. We don't believe women, and that's why things happen. And we're like, well, no, maybe we should listen, but do we have to believe until we get some more facts? No, you've got to believe. Lizzo tells you something that she's been shamed. Lizzo rocks out ass cheeks flying at a New York Knicks basketball game, sitting her bare ass on a chair that other people have to sit on. And you tell us that, if that was Rihanna, we would like that. One, probably. Two, it wasn't Rihanna. Nobody but if Rihanna had a sweaty ass, we wouldn't want Rihanna's sweaty ass. Well, some people would, but most people wouldn't want her sweaty ass on the seat either. And I like Lizzo. But this right here, women are saying, wait till more facts come out. As Lizzo defends herself against other women who are saying that that are alleged sexual harassment, hostile work environment, and they were weight shamed and pressured while at a strip club. And women are like, they're lying. It goes to what my boy said. We believe the people that we like. And that's just the truth. Like, you don't believe these women not because you don't you don't believe the women because you want to believe Lizzo's a great person. And I don't know if she is or not. But I don't idolize people. I know a lot of celebrities, and I know a lot of celebrities are shitty people. But Lizzo's former creative director, along with one of her former dancers, share support for the lawsuit filed against the singer. I'm not a part of the lawsuit, but this was very much my experience and my time there. I very much applaud the dancers' courage to bring this to the light. Echoing what was said, love, I haven't been a part of that world for around 3 years for a reason. I very much applaud the dancers' courage to bring this to the light, and I grieve parts of my own experience. I'd appreciate space to understand my feelings. So, and this is like, I'm going to read this, right? I'm going to read this, and this is about a woman. She has been making sexual comments for a long time, but everyone took it as a joke. Like, when men say that, y'all cry. Y'all said, well, you don't get the joke like that. And I'm like, well, how do I treat you like a guy? Like, you tell me that we want equality, but you don't. You don't even want equity. You like it is literally this world is crazy. And it's crazy because of women. Women have created a world where if you say anything that's contrary, just like conservatives have, if you say something that's contrary to their stuff, you're woke. If you say anything anything contrary to what a woman says, you are misogynist. And then women also join the bandwagon of the alphabet gang. It's where if you say anything that you don't understand or doesn't make sense to the alphabet gang, you're now a homonym or whatever the fuck it is that they say you are. But now the homonyms, now the transformers are telling women that they're not women and that women are jealous of them for being more women than them. And I don't care if you're a transformer. I don't care who you. This is a crazy. That shit's crazy. I'm an ally. I don't care who you fucking, as long as you ain't fucking me. But all I know is this: I'm going to, no matter what happens with Lizzo, I'm still gonna be curious, and I'm still gonna chant some of her songs I still like. Just like you're not gonna get me. I don't care how many little girls R. Kelly had to pee on to create 12 play. That is still a piece of classic musical literature. I'll never stop listening to that. If we stop, like one of the things is we got to stop putting people on a pedestal, and we got to understand that all people have the capacity to do dumb shit and wild shit, or be pieces of shit, self included. But I do know that this and a lot of other shit. Shout out. We talked about Travis Rudolph getting the gig, right? On Monday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So between Travis Rudolph, I think we've had 3 solid months of just women doing shit that really just shake that believe all women to the core thing. And it's not just one instance; it's in multiple different instances. And the craziest thing is we can find a lot of other examples to match this. And that's not saying that people aren't having bad things happen to them. What I'm saying is Charlemagne said it best. Listen to everybody, but believe the facts. Because I don't even know if Lizzo did it. She's innocent till proven guilty, which is here wildest part, similar vein, right? Jonathan Majors lost everything off of rumors. When he's the one who called the police, and everybody automatically believed Jonathan Majors. I believed every story against Jonathan Majors. Other pieces of people came out and said Jonathan Majors has been a piece of shit guy for some years, and we believed it. This shit happens to Lizzo, it barely goes viral.
It's fine to say wait for more information to come out, but just keep that same energy.
Right. Michael Corleone, Godfather 2, comes in there and he says, now he did it, but they couldn't prove that he did it. And he says, he talks about he was a war hero, all of these other different things. And he says, I hope you guys use the same energy to exonerate my name as you use to besmirch it. And it's never the energy to say I was wrong and correct something as much as it was to make sure that you jumped on this person and lost them their money. Because again, I like Jonathan Majors as an actor. I like The Harder They Fall. I like him. I enjoy, and I like Ant-Man, right? But there was something about the ass whooping he gave Ant-Man that gave me some. It was like the end of it. I didn't watch the whole movie. I fell asleep, but like the end of it, it was like, don't cancel me. You know how you see racist people sometimes, like you wonder if they're enjoying the person getting beat? Because I like the guy who plays Ant-Man, but I was just like, I had an ancestral pride of a black man beating the fuck out of that guy. Right. Which I couldn't, I'm mad. I did not watch Django because it wasn't on Netflix. I got to find out where it's at. I did tell him, I did watch The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, and I was so fucking disappointed. It's like they could have just, like, it would have been better if they would have put Ballad of Buster Scruggs, to watch the first 5 minutes and you'll, the first 2 stories are really, really good. But I've seen all the memes. If you've seen the memes, you've seen the movie. Ballad Buster Scruggs, though, if they would have just chopped up the reels that I watched, Miles, and just put it throughout the movie, like so, like it's like a recurring, just random theme that comes through, it would have been so much better. But it was like, damn, it's already over. But I still gotta watch Django. I've seen so many scenes. It's just sometimes, but then you know what? My bad. Now that I think about it, it had nothing to do with the ancestral. I was happy that I was a black guy. It could have been 2 white men. It was my need for violence that was satiated because it was a good ass whoop. I bet if I took the time to watch Creed, I'm assuming he beat the fuck out of he had to beat the fuck out of Nick Cannon. What's the name? What's his real name? I call him Michael B. Jordan. I just don't like Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, I just think he overacts.
He's not my favorite.
But
Jonathan Majors is definitely better.
yes.
If you haven't seen Lovecraft Country, that's another show he was on.
And Jonathan Majors is rough handsome.
Yeah.
He's like, I know he can go like he picks cotton handsome. Like if he played in a slave movie, you would be like, yeah, okay, cool. He would make it look too smooth. He's not like where Michael B. Jordan looks like he's the house dude.
Yeah.
Like they say. And then Jonathan Majors also just dresses like the original slave everywhere he goes. Like he doesn't dress up, he doesn't do all these different things. He's just amazing. But that man, look, I'm telling you, Nick Cannon and Michael B. Jordan could be the same person, except for Nick Cannon has more money and more kids. But on that note, appreciate you guys for chopping it up with me. We'll see you guys in a couple of days.